All right, so let's take a look at this JWT stuff. It's here, a category here, JWT, and that stands for JSON Web Token, and JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, so it's a double acronym, which is kind of unprofessional, but that's how things get. People use acronyms and then forget their acronyms and think they're words. So as usual, I open the instructions, and then I open the lab in another tab. All right. And there is a page they want you to look at how to work with JSON Web Tokens in Burp, where they talk about adding an extension and doing complicated things. But all we need to do for this first one is fairly simple things, so you don't really need all the information on that page to do it. And here's the solution. This is what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do is we only have a user account, but we're going to trick it into thinking we're the administrator, and then to prove we're the administrator, we're going to delete Carlos's account, which is something only the administrator should be able to do. And we have the credentials Wiener Peter. So what we can do is log in as Wiener Peter in order to see how authentication works. So it's Wiener and Peter. And I'm going to go into Burp and clear all the old stuff. Let me go to Proxy History, and I'll clear all the old stuff, clear history. All right, now I log in. Okay, I'm in. Now, when I log in, I do a post request to get the login, and then when I get my account, it's going to know that I'm authenticated. So here, this cookie is the session cookie, which proves that I have in fact logged in as this user. And this cookie, this is the way JSON Web Tokens work. You have a blob of base64 data, and then a dot, and then another blob, and someplace there's another dot as a separator. And the different sections have a defined meaning, and you can see them in Burp by double-clicking. That'll highlight it up to the first dot, and here it'll show you what it means. Decoded, this has KID and some kind of number, and the algorithms used, some kind of 256-bit encryption algorithm for signing. So the first blob is just generic information about the type of token. If you double-click the second blob, you'll see this has something about the source, when it expires, and here's the name of the user, Wiener. So this is a place where I might be able to get away with changing something to make it meaningful. So I'm going to copy this to the repeater because I can't send anything from the history tab. That's fixed. So I right-click and send to the repeater. Now in the repeater, what I want to do is, now if I send this now, I'm going to get Wiener's account, which is 200, which is fine, but that's not what I want. What I want is the administrator page. So I take the URL and change it to admin. And to open the administrator page, I'm now going to get unauthorized because I need to be authenticated as the administrator. So what you do is you take the second blob of data in the JSON Web Token, which is, I guess I'll just highlight the first one. Okay, here's the second one. There, and now you bring up the inspector, and now you can change it. So instead of that being Wiener, I'm going to make it administrator. Right. And there's a say apply changes. So notice the code is over here, the base64 code. When I click apply changes, some of that is going to change. There, see, it got longer. So now I've made a token that claims I'm the administrator. Now after this is supposed to be a signature, and the signature is supposed to detect if I've modified anything, so the server should reject this. But in this case, the server's mistake is it's not verifying the signature. So if I send that one in, I now get a 200 OK. So now I'm in the administrator page. Now I can do administrative things, and I can find the code here that does administrative things. So if you go down here someplace, here's how you delete someone. To delete Carlos, you go to admin, delete username equals Carlos. And you can only, it's a GET request to there, and you have to do it while authenticated as administrator. Well, now I have a cookie that will make it think I'm the administrator, so I just have to change the URL up here to the URL that will do that action, and it should do it. And when I send it, again, I get a 302 found, which is good, and therefore I'll see I solved the lab here. So that's the trick for this one, which is pretty nice, and you see it works. It works because they're not verifying the signature, and there's more advanced ones that are more complicated, but this is the simplest JSON Web Token attack, And you can see you don't need anything more than the default functionality of BERT to do it. So that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to stop.